Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in the video today, and we're going to be recapping all of the 7 NBA games today. As you know, actually, there was actually a lot of close games today. When I was looking at the schedule before, I thought that there wouldn't be as much as there were. Out of the 7 games, we had 4 close, entertaining games. And let's get started. We're going to get started with a game that went overtime. And a game that went overtime was a really close game in regulation. And when this game went to overtime, they had control as they beat the Pistons 142-131, outscore the Pistons 14-3 in overtime. For the Pistons, 21 for Isaiah Stewart, 23 for Bogdanovic, and 15 for Jaden Ivey. For the Clippers, Paul George had 32 and 11. 18 for Luke Kennard, 16 for Morris, and 12 points, 15 rebounds for Zubac, 16 for Powell off the bench as well. Moving on to one of the honestly, I think this was the most entertaining game of the day. Even though we had a game go overtime, Nets Cavaliers, as the Nets outlast the Cavaliers 125-117. What a game this was, with Garland having 46 points and Kyrie and KD going off, both getting 32 points. Kyrie returns home. Nets get a great win. This was actually kind of a blowout, to be honest, because the Nets were outscored by 8 in the first half. And in the second half, that means that the Nets going into halftime had a 16-point lead. The game was a little bit closer in the second half. But I think this is just more entertaining because all the headlines, the 4 seed versus the 3 seed in the Eastern Conference, Kyrie returning to Cleveland, even though he's played there so many times, Garland having 45 points, Donovan Mitchell only had 15. He's hurting me in fantasy. No, I'm just kidding. Jared Allen had 10 and 11. Jenny Osman had 11. 12 and 6 for Mobley. Besides Katie and Kyrie getting 32, TJ Warren had 23, one of his best games of the season. Also had 8 rebounds. Royce O'Neal had 10. And that was really it. Moving on to one of the closest games of the day, but not that entertaining. The Heat beat the Timberwolves 113-110. Lowry has 18. Hero has 14. Strus has 19. Orlando Robinson has 15. Heat are able to take care of business really shorthanded. No Bam Adebayo. And also no Jimmy Butler. Gabe Vincent also had 11 points off the bench. For the Timberwolves, disappointing loss for them tonight. They lost to a team with no Jimmy Butler, no Bam Adebayo. Anthony Edwards had 29 points, 13 for D'Angelo Russell, 21 and 11 for Naz Reid. Moving on to the Rockets and the Bulls. I already made a post game about this because I obviously do Rockets post game videos. The Rockets won 133-118. Jalen Green scores 23. Alperen Sengun scores 25. And KPJ scores 36. Go check out my post game if you want to hear me talk more about that game. Pacers, Pelicans. Pelicans soundly defeat the Pacers. And get the win 113-93. Jackson Hayes finally getting some minutes. He started tonight. He had 15 and 9. It was so weird how he wasn't playing. Probably because they were shorthanded. No Zion Williamson tonight. No Brandon Ingram. A lot of players were out for the Blazers tonight. For the Pelicans tonight. CJ McCollum had 19. Jonas Valanciunas had 20 and 12. Najee Marshall had 22. For the Pacers, Halliburton had 12. Miles Turner had 14. And Hield had 12. Reason probably why Halliburton and Turner didn't score as much as probably because they were probably on low minutes because this was kind of a blowout. Spurs, Jazz. Spurs. It looked like a close game as the Spurs won 126-122. It was close at the end. Jazz outscored the Spurs by 10 in the quarter. I think at one point in the fourth or third, the Spurs were up by like 21, but the Jazz made a little bit of a fourth quarter comeback and would not be able to finish the comeback. Keldon Johnson had 21. Devin Vassell had 24. 20 for Braham. For the Jazz, Lauri Markkanen had 32 and 12. Jordan Clarkson had 25. That was really it. Good win for the Spurs. In our last game, you got the Blazers and the Hornets. Hornets have gone hot the last couple games, won a couple games in a row, but the Blazers are not having that today as they win 124-113. Anthony Simons has 18, Lillard has 17, 11-13 for Josh Hart, 32-10-5 for Jeremy Grant, 28-15-6 for Yusuf Nurkic. Great performance between those two. They combined for 60 points and 25 rebounds and 11 assists. When you compare those guys' stats together, combine them, that is amazing. Plus, you got Lillard and Simons combining for 35. So what a performance for the Blazers starters. That's combined 60 plus 35 is 95 plus 11. The Blazers starters combined for 106 points tonight. God. Hornets, for the Hornets scorers, we got LaMelo Ball having 27-7-7. 27-7-7. I think I said that before, but I just want to make sure. Gordon Hayward had 10. PJ Washington had 22. And that was really it for today's games. It wasn't, for me, I thought it was pretty cool because the Rockets won, but that's just being biased. But I didn't really watch that much of the games besides the Rockets. Just didn't really feel in the mood. Monday Night Football. Don't really pay attention to all the games on Mondays if the Rockets are playing, because then the Rockets are on, then Monday Night Football's on. And then, I don't know, I just kind of felt weird today. So I watched a little bit of the fourth quarter of the Blazers and Hornets game. That was all right game. But I realized how good the Blazers were doing with their stats. But Garland is the highest scorer for today. He had 46. I'm not gonna give him the player of the game because they lost to the Nets. But I would probably give it to Kyrie or KD because they got the win. But Garland had the most points today. What a win for the Nets, though. They get the win in Cleveland. But yeah, that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out. Let me know your thoughts on today's games.